Alright, so here's a PCV catch can how-to video. So anyway, it just started right on here. Boo-hoo. So anyway, here's what you got. You got an inlet, in which it's just regular quarter-inch air compressor fittings, and then you put a hose on it, on the inlet, run it down to the bottom, cut it, and then you have your outlet on the top here. So okay, that's the jar. Now what you got to do is you got to locate your car's PCV valve. So this truck's here is all the way back in the valve cover back there. So just go ahead and disconnect the PCV valve, take it on out, and then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get some old spare hose or something or other. So I just got this old coolant hose that I think is rated for oil use too, fuel and oil use. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the PCV valve on there, and I'm going to find a place for the jar. Finding a place for the jar is about the hardest part of this. So I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to put it down there next to the exhaust or anything stupid like that, because that would be pretty darn stupid. I'm thinking though, this frame rail down here, thinking I might put it down there, or there's plenty of room between the grill and, oh, you can't see in there. There's plenty of room between the grill and the radiator though, like my whole arm fits in there. So I may end up just taking this grill out, putting it in the front here, and then you want to zip tie it in place, and sometimes you want to use an old piece of cloth or something to cushion it between a frame or a metal object, because otherwise you'll shatter your jar, and then you'll have a massive vacuum leak. And you always, 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 always want to keep the stock hose setup for your PCV system in the car with you, so that if that jar breaks or a line collapses or something, you can always throw the stock piece back on and away she goes. So anyway, that's the first tidbit of that. I'll get back to you when I get it somewhat installed. Okay, so I found a good mounting location for our PCV jar here. I just went ahead and zip tied it to the metal part of the wiring harness holder. Alright, so now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and get your jar a little orientated here, right? You know, get your lid screwed on there. Alright, so I accidentally cut this hole a little bit too long, so I need to cut it down a little bit. And then I'm actually using one of the stock parts right here, so I'll keep this little rubber doodad right there and keep that little guy in the cab with me in case this thing blows up or doesn't work right. So we got a nice zip tie around the lip of the jar here to hold it up, tied to the top of the bracket there. And then we got one around the girth right there. I said girth! Got one around there, and that'll hold her, and it seems to be pretty solid. I mean, it's going to move a little bit. I mean, it is going to move. But, you know, when you're driving, it shouldn't be doing too much. But that should hold it. And if you're worried about it, you could actually fabricate a bracket to come underneath and kind of sort of give her a little support right there. And, you know, whatever. But it's not by any belts, hoses. It's by these alternator wires, but I'm not worried about those at all. By the AC hose, but it doesn't look like it's going to sit on it and chafe it or anything. So, there's that. And to make your zip tying a little more secure, like I said, wrap some cloth around it, and that will give it a little bit tighter of a fit. Be able to cinch down those zip ties a little bit tighter. So yeah, you just want to go ahead and run your PCV. So this comes from the PCV valve right here, and then you're going to want to run it to there. Okay, so I'll cut it like right there, and then just snap that on there. And you know, it's always better to cut your hoses longer than you need instead of shorter than you need. I found out from experience. And then, you know, and then you run it back to where it's supposed to go in the stock place. So it's supposed to go to a little nipple down in here. See if I can bring it out. Yeah, a little bit there. Oh, there we go. Yep, you see that right there where my thumb is right there? Yep, there's their stock nipple right there. And then you just take the remainder of your hose you got here and you just, you know, run it approximately right there, and it should come out to like right there, and then we'll get another elbow on it or whatever, and be back in business. Be ready to get rolling this beastie. So that's how you make a PCV filter for just about any car, and the benefits are a lot better. Keeps the oil out of your intake and getting it all grimy, because this one here runs the stock PCV right underneath the throttle body, right there on the underneath side. So starting to rain out here, I'm going to go ahead and shut this thing off and get her done. Take it easy, everyone. Okay, so it's fully installed now, and got the intake right there, which runs all the way down to the bottom. Got a double set of zip ties on it, and then we got your exhaust right there, the outlet right there, goes down. So now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and fire it up and make sure that it's going to work properly, you know. So we'll go and get on in here and make sure you put it in, you know, set your e-brake and put it in neutral and everything like that. And we'll go ahead and about like that. Okay. Got the cone filter there. Alright, so hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad, so let's go ahead and see if I can kick the throttle from here. There you go. Check that out. I'd say that's working pretty fantastic. Here's a little exhaust clip. Oh yeah. So anyway, that looks good. That's what it's supposed to do. Sweet. I don't hear any vacuum leaks and it's idling great. Cool. So that's the end of it. That's it. Okay. Go ahead and shut her down. Cool. Alright, well. So that's how you install a PCV filter the generic way on just about any car using a half-gallon pickle jar. Sweet.